Hello, everybody, and welcome to Art of the Bay Sessions. On this episode, we have our good friend Smith joining us, and she will be talking about her exciting new app, Mirro. Before we get into today's interview, make sure to hit that subscribe button in order to see future interviews and more content. With that being said, let's hit into the interview. Thanks again. Alrighty, and we actually have a special guest joining us. So we have Smith back, and she's going to give us a pretty amazing walkthrough of her app so far. How's it going?
It's going. 2020 is going. I'm going. Trying to stay alive. Just happy to be alive. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Did you want to give us a quick look at what you have so far going on?
Yeah, sure. So before I jump into the prototype, just wanted to give a little blurb about Mirro. Mirro is an app where people can go in and organize their closet, but then they can also use it as like a social platform where they could ask people for input on items within their closet. And so I actually came up with this idea when I was sitting on the toilet.
Of course.
I have a mirror. Yeah, of course.
That's where all the billion-dollar ideas come from. So yeah.
Exactly. So I really needed to go to the bathroom, and I ran up and I saw this mirror in my bathroom, and I just glanced at myself and I thought, dang, I have no style. Like what the heck? Why am I so fashionably challenged? And right. So I was thinking, I have a partner and he's really fashionable, and I often look to him for guidance for what I should wear and what I should not wear. Right. And I was thinking, if only I had an app where he can basically tell me what to wear and put things together with the items in my own closet. Because A, I don't want to spend money. B, I actually want to start purging items in my closet, and I want to streamline it. And how do I get my partner to do that without me taking out all of my clothes, putting it on the floor or on the bed, and then taking pictures of the things that he combines,
Right.
He makes an outfit, I take a picture. That's just very time consuming. And after that, if I have all these pictures of it, what do I do with it? Do I put it up on an Excel sheet? I mean, I love Excel, but not that much. Do I put it on an Airtable?
Not in that context anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I actually do know folks who kind of do that already, but with makeup. Where they'll take pictures of their makeup and they'll catalog it in an Excel sheet, and they'll have information on what percentage of it is used up. Do they need to buy some more? What shade is it, or something like that? And so I was thinking, I'd like to have that for clothes, and I'd like to be able to outsource all of the fashion thinking to somebody who actually really enjoys it.
Right.
And in my case, it's my partner, and he's like, yeah, this would be great. I would have so much fun doing these things and making outfits for you. And in my case, I'm thinking, yes, what a win. I don't have to do anything. And I get to look fashionable at the end of it. And I don't have to spend any more money because people are, somebody's styling me with my own clothes.
Right. Yeah.
And so Mirro is an app where you can do that. And if you go to the App Store or Google Play, there's a lot of apps that allow you to take pictures and keep inventory of your closet. Right. And so that already exists out there, but I haven't seen anything where you open up your closet to your friends and the unknown, and to the world, right? I haven't seen that exist yet. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool if I cataloged my closet and opened that up to somebody in Japan? I might not know them, but they could have access to see what's in my closet, and I could end up getting fashion advice from somebody else across the country, across the world. And I just thought that was really powerful, because you'd essentially be you can enable people to express and to be creative at the same time, or while doing that, they're helping somebody else.
Right.
Like myself, who's fashionably, not very competent. So
that sounds like the app for me, seriously. So, because I'm the same way, where I probably have a closet full of clothes that either I never wear or only wore once, and I'm pretty sure I can make the most out of it if I just had some advice like that.
Exactly. And, thinking back at it, I'm like, wow, if I was in high school or I was in college and I'm trying to, go for an interview or something, or, you're in high school and you're like, oh, I'm going to a party. What do I do?
Yeah.
basically outsource the work and have other people basically influence you and say, hey, you should wear this, this, and this. And you're like, oh, shoot, I already got that. Cool. Now I look fresh. And you go about your day. And it's just less of a cognitive burden for those who find it really difficult to style, put things together.
Yeah. I think it also sounds amazing too for people who love fashion design, because at that point it's like you're given like an open palette to people's inventory, and then I would imagine they would have a ton of fun just like seeing like, okay, what can I actually, it's like building like a puzzle in their head with everything with your closet at that point.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with this. This might be a girl thing. But there used to be this, or there is a concept called paper dolls where.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it, but yeah.
You'd get a book, and then they'd have these little this model that you cut out, and then you have shapes of clothes that you then cut out, and then you put them on the model. And so
right.
When I was building this and when I was prototyping this, that was essentially something that I had in my mind where, like these clothes or these paper clothes that you would then put on the models, that would be something that is analogous to the items in your own closet.
Right.
And you actually just mentioned like you have stuff in your closet that you've only worn once or twice. And, with you saying that, I totally understand it. Like I have that same problem too. And I get really frustrated just walking, opening up my closet and just thinking, wow, I don't need half of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so being able to categorize them and have an inventory of all the items in my closet will with this app will help me figure out what to prune and what to donate, what to get rid of. And because this is something where you're connecting with your friends and with your fashion friend in Japan that you don't know, you could potentially end up having, a barter system where if you're trying to offload items in your closet, you could then say, hey, I don't need these things. Who wants them? And so that could, that's definitely something that I'm thinking about for V2, V3 of this app, where we're starting to connect people even more by allowing people to trade and or sell and barter items. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly where my mind went as well, where say if I didn't use a certain clothing piece and someone else had seen it, then they're like, oh, that's amazing. Like that would actually match with so-and-so.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that would be like the perfect combination. Just the way that you kind of described the overall flow of everything. It really kind of reminds me of just like kind of like chefs, where like certain challenges on like these TV shows are like you get like a random assortment of ingredients, and then it really takes like the mind of a good chef to know like what to use with them. I think that's the same kind of idea that I'm getting from what you're doing with this app, is just being able to see like this collection of wardrobe, and then seeing like what would actually match up best for not only like the style, but also like for you as a person in your personality as well.
Yeah. I think one of the main gripes that I've had with other apps that exist right now is that, there are things out there that allow you to build looks, but it's not with items in your own closet. Right. And it's oh, this is great, but I'm not going to buy that Gucci bag. Like, who has the money? I'm trying to save for my retirement. So
I only have Gucci. It's like spelled differently.
GOO. CHI.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can give you a walkthrough of the prototype right now. And I'll definitely preface this with the fact that the app is getting built right now. Android is ahead of schedule. And right now I'm still trying to suss out the iOS part.
Right.
But we're definitely aiming for the end of this year to then publish it, put it out, not on the App Store, but we're trying to get a collection of folks to test it out, be the beta testers, give us feedback, and then I'll go in there and make some updates.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds like the smart way to approach it.
So right off the bat, when you get the app, you download it, you're going to be hit with the Explore page. And the Explore page is basically a dashboard of all the things that are happening in this app ecosphere or space. So folks who have this app, they'll be able to upload looks, upload images and of their garments and whatnot. And so this is just like a feed that people would then get right off the bat. You don't have to log in. You don't have to create an account for it yet. And so being able to open this up for users to see at the very beginning of the app is really important for me, because as a user of many games and many random apps, if there's a wall that like a barrier to entry, I'm like, oh man, I'm just going to uninstall it.
Yeah.
And so I want to see what's happening in the world. And so you could potentially see folks from, I mentioned Japan. I'm like obsessed with Japan.
Yeah.
All over the country. And you're like, oh shoot, I want to check in and see what's going on. And so you can dive in, and already, again, you haven't signed into the account yet, and you just get a sneak peek of what's going on in the world. And so once you begin to want to interact with the app, then you'll get hit up with a sign-in wall. Mm-hmm. And right now we're working on using social authentication. And so if you have an account with Pinterest or Google or Instagram, you can log in through that.
Right.
So once you enter, we have a couple of steps just as a little onboarding. You can build a closet, take a sneak peek into your friend's closet. I mentioned that earlier. You can create looks with items in your closet. Super duper important. And then you can style your friends, and you can have your friends style you. So it's super duper simple. The actual thought of it is very, very basic. But I just haven't really seen that done. And I haven't found anything that's been able to help me in particular. And I'm like, I'm not the only one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So once you have that, you're now logged in. And so you have the same dashboard. And you have 4 buttons at the bottom. We have the dashboard or the home page. And then you have another section for your closet. And in your closet, you've got, oops, it's empty. You got to go in, add a picture. Mm-hmm. And in this case, you got a picture of this t-shirt and some jogging pants. Athleisure wear is very big in the United States. Other countries might not be super thrilled about it, but whatever. But
then they can start adopting that style and make it their own over there. So
exactly. Yeah. And what's interesting is that, I don't know if you heard, but over in Japan, again, I'm using Japan as a big example, but fashion in Asia tends to be a year or two out in the future from us. Like here in America, we get it really late. And I would say we're on the West Coast, so we're most likely to get that inspiration earlier. So I remember this one time, this must have been like 10 years ago, knee-high boots. That wasn't a thing in the United States. Knee-high boots and short pants, like booty shorts. Like that wasn't a thing here in the United States, but that was a style that you saw in Japan and South Korea, exist. And like kids were out on the street like 2 years in advance, like dressing like this. And at first you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then slowly I started seeing it in Boston, and I'm like, holy schmolies, what's going on? So going back to the prototype. So here you take a picture, you get a bunch of information that's been pre-populated. And this is with us using something like Google Vision to then parse through the image and then, extrapolate some metadata.
Yeah.
And so if you want to get rid of some stuff, boom, you can get rid of it. You can add some stuff if you want. And then once you have that, you can just go ahead and save it. And you're like, yay, I added some stuff to my closet.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then once you have that, you can go ahead and, we're just assuming that you have a bunch of clothes added already. You can go ahead and create a look. And what's cool about this is that you're essentially making a mood board.
Right.
So you just go in, filter through the items that you want to add. In this case, I'm adding a shirt and some pants. And then you have this mood board where you can go ahead and position the things that you want for this like outfit that you want to make. And so let's get rid of that. I don't like those shoes anyway. And I'll just go ahead and save it. Got to get some ad revenue. There's some ads.
Then it's not free thing to make. So yeah.
So we can touch a little bit about that because the app, I'd ideally love to make this free, but in order for us to make it free and for us to be able to cover the costs of like servers and storage, image storage and things like that, using APIs to do image recognition, machine learning, there's a little fee to that. And so with ads, we're hoping to get enough users to just go through some video, like not paid advertisement, rewarded videos. So then we could use that revenue to then pay for the costs of the overhead.
Right.
So one of the critical things and the crucial things of this app is this get style help. And so earlier I had mentioned about the ability to request or to get styled by your friends. And so this is kind of the crux of the application, where if I wanted to go to a party and I'm like, I don't know what to wear, I could go into this application, click on the style help, add some information here. Let's just say I'm going to a barbecue and all this stuff. And I only want, let's just make it public. Let's have people look at it. So I can request for help here. And then this will then be like my friends who have this app, they'll get alerted to it. And then friends who, I guess in this case, because I made it public, they can also have access to it, and they'll get an alert and be like, oh, somebody needs help with this thing. And on the other side, they'd essentially get something like this here where, I don't know if you see my mouse, but you get an alert of like, you have a friend to style. And from there, you take a peek into their closet and then you build something around their closet. And you're like, oh yeah, here, boom.
Yeah.
That's basically it. The second tab, or the third tab, sorry. The third tab is all about friends. Because this is a social network, a social application that just happens to revolve around fashion, you could go through the motions of adding a friend and requesting.
Right.
So very similar to other social medias that are out there.
That's awesome. I was wondering, like, how does it look like when, say, if you put out that request there to kind of like get help from the public or friends? Do you have something yet where like it shows you, like, say if like 20 people replied to it, like how do you like see that layout of the people that kind of like helped you out at that point?
Oh yeah, if you have a bajillion folks who want to help you out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good question. So I totally skipped on that. So earlier you just saw me go through the motions of requesting for style help. And after I do that, I have this in the UI where it says that I have a style recommendation, or this is something that I've requested for help. And it says I have 2 new recommendations. So that means that 2 friends or 2 individuals out there in the wild went into my closet and then put something together for me. So what I can do is I can go ahead and click on that. And then kind of like in a Tinder style type thing, you can just cycle and swipe through different looks.
Yeah.
And then you can accept them. And once you accept it, you're like, boom, cool. That kind of, the alert for, the alert showing that you have folks who've actually styled you, that goes away because you've already selected an outfit.
Yeah. That's awesome. For some reason in my mind, I'm already thinking about like gamifying it, where you get like badges based on how many like people you've helped. And then like you'll get a badge and it's like, oh, you've like, you've helped 5 people, or 5 people have taken your recommendation. Like, yeah.
Actually, that's a really good point to bring up, because that's something that I've definitely had in the back of my mind. It's like, how do I gamify it? To be honest, during, we have the work from home mandate.
Yeah.
I started downloading so many games on my phone.
Yeah.
And one of the tactics that these games have, it's based on rewards, right? And you get so many points, and then with those points, you get to do things within the app. And so initially what I had thought about doing with this app was, making a game where people feel like they want to style. They want to keep on styling other people. They want to interact with more people. And if you get a lot of folks liking your outfits and accepting it, then you'll get points. And then with those points, I wanted to be able to then have the user cash them out for some real cash.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, let's get the ad revenue from the rewarded videos and then use that to pay out the people who are using this application. Because in essence, you're getting people to style you. Like being a stylist is an actual job.
Exactly.
And what we've done is gamify it and make it really friendly, and we've decreased the barrier to entry for people to start styling. And then they could essentially end up using this application as a way of building their portfolio for, I don't know what happens in the fashion sphere, but like they could make a portfolio and use this as a way to get customers for their own side business. Like say you have somebody who that's their job, they're a stylist,
right?
And they want to get more people to work with. They could potentially use this application to showcase all of the different types of looks that they can create with what they have at hand. If that makes any sense.
No, I mean, I think it makes perfect sense because the first thing that came to my head is that a lot of people even do it similar to when people are kind of going out for like an artist position that usually the artists also have like an online portfolio, but they also put in like their Instagram because they also just like put like the illustrations and everything that they have there. So then recruiters can just kind of look through there just to see like their body of work. So I would imagine this is very similar in that case where I would imagine people have their own online portfolios, but this one would be like a good reference of like, oh yeah, this is how they actually applied their fashion work into helping others as well.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? So because I'm fashionably challenged, I used to use this thing called Trunk Club, very similar to Stitch Fix. If anybody has used them, I really enjoyed them. I really needed them. And essentially what they do is they had an actual stylist, a person, to then pick out outfits, and they would just mail a bunch of stuff to me in a box.
Yeah.
And in the end, it was just expensive as fuck. Sorry, can I say that? Can I swear? Sorry.
It's all gonna be like cut, so it's fine.
Cool.
we can always put like a Snoopy like sound effect over it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was really, really expensive, and I was like, man, like why can't they just style me with my own clothes with the things that I have?
Right.
And worst case scenario, maybe it was the fact that maybe I have to go and buy some stuff. Yeah, I think really using the user's current closet is super duper important, especially during this time, because I feel like there's a trend right now that everybody's slowing down with consumption, slowing down with purchasing. People are trying to save money. People are trying to stretch what they have, and being able to get help with making things and reusing things and extending their life. I was going to say life cycle. Wow, I'm putting on my coder hat. Life cycle. But yeah, really extending what people have is really important.
Yeah.
And I hope that this app can really help hit that need and help people who really need help there. Well.
Yeah. No, I agree, because I think that's a lot of the things where in general with things outside of clothing too, that I just have a bunch of stuff, and then I would figure that there is a better way to kind of do that, where it's either to share it across with others to kind of see like if they can help me out with any inspiration, or if in like how you were planning with V2 and V3 to kind of like see if they can make more use out of it than I can. So I think this is like the perfect app to kind of like solve that dilemma for folks that just have the same issue with just having an abundance of clothes and not knowing what to do with them, and then also having fun with it too, because that social aspect like really helps in that case, because you'll get inspired to put like the request to get help, but you also want to give back and help out others too that are in the same situation as you.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that I did want to mention as well was that for future versions, because right now for V1, like this is still in development, we're trying to get some people excited about it. But for future versions, and we've already touched upon like V1, V2, V3.
Yeah.
But this could potentially spread out and open to different, like a different industry. So right now it's focused on fashion and clothes, but I can imagine this being really useful for when people want to do interior decorating.
Yeah.
How do I redesign the space? What are the items I need? These are the things I have in my house.
Yeah.
So it could really, I feel like the potential is there, and there's so many different iterations that we could do with this.
Right. No, I think that's the awesome part, is that you're already thinking about ways to kind of already use the same core loop that you're doing with this. And I can make the perfect example where my sister and brother-in-law are in the middle of like redecorating the kitchen now. So it's the exact same thing where like they're trying to make the most out of the items that they have now, and an app like this would totally help them out in that future scenario as well.
Happy to hear. I'm super excited.
Awesome. So you mentioned that this was you were targeting by end of year to kind of have like that that open beta for folks.
Yes. Yep. So right now the Android app is in development and the iOS application is just starting, I'll say. And yeah, the end goal is to have a beta by sometime around Christmas, I'd say. And
Perfect
what
time.
we'll do is, what we'll do is we have a wait list, and you can get to that wait list by going to mirro.com/waitlist and just plop in your information. And, like I'll end up reaching out to people and just being like, what device do you have?
Right.
Download this. And just, I really plan on, and I'm really hoping to work directly with whoever's using it, and getting direct feedback there. Cause I really, this is a problem that I have, and I'm sure that other folks have this problem as well. Or I'm hoping that they have this problem.
Yeah. No, I can already think of a handful of people who definitely
nuts.
Yeah. I guess one more item before we head it out. Will this potentially be available on either like an iPad or like a tablet in the future as well?
Oh, yeah, good question. So right now we're only developing it for mobile devices, but I'm sure you know what? Scrap that. Yeah, we'll have this available for different devices. So right now we're focused on mobile, but we'll make sure to build it in such a way that it'll resize and be responsive to whatever viewport that you're looking at. And so in terms of iOS and Android, they're going to be native applications. And if people are saying, hey, we want to see this on desktop for web, then that's definitely something that I'll have to prioritize. And again, it's going to be basically me reaching out to people who sign up for the wait list, getting what they want, prioritizing through whatever features that they're asking for that people want, and us building it out. So yeah.
Because I can already picture it, like just like when you get fully immersed in it, that you kind of want like a larger screen. In my opinion, anyway, just like when an iPad where you're just kind of like scrolling through your different wardrobe and then kind of piecing that together on a larger screen. But I really love that you're starting off with the mobile version just because it is more accessible at that point.
Yeah. And I think I'd say that we're in the Bay Area. Yeah. A good chunk of us are going to be techies, or we'll have friends who are techies.
Yeah.
And people always say that you got to start mobile first. And
exactly.
The data shows that a lot of people are definitely trending towards spending more time on mobile devices and tablets. And to be honest, our mobile devices are basically tablets now. I'm holding up my phone and it's really the size of my face. So, so it's essentially a tablet.
Yeah.
But there could be a need for web as well, because, we mentioned earlier about potentially expanding this outside the realm of just fashion and
right.
encapsulating the interior design space. And with that, you want to add more items to this mood board. And I think that'll be really, really helpful to have like a larger canvas for people to work on to then add stuff into it.
One of my favorite things from what you described is the mood boards, just because overall, like, there isn't a product like this before. And I really like that personalization part of it with the mood boards, because it does make it feel like something that you created on your own or someone created for you, that once you actually see that mood board, it really kind of gives you that inspiration to create something. And I think that's the kind of personal part that I think is going to resonate with a lot of people.
Couldn't have said it better.
Awesome. I guess I'll definitely make sure to put a plug out there from the links that you mentioned, and we'll also make sure that when it does become more generally, I'll do two things. Obviously, I'll make sure people are aware of the open beta when it becomes available, but I'll also make sure folks are aware of it once the app is available for both platforms when they initially come out to the public. So, Thank you so much again, Smith. Like, this was an amazing walkthrough, and I can't wait for folks to like get excited about it, first of all, and then when it does become available, for them to kind of get their hands on it and to provide you guys a bunch of feedback on like how they're enjoying the app at that point.
Thank you. No, I would say thank you for allowing me to talk about this and go on my spiel. It's been super fun, and I'm like, oh man, I want to be involved in this whenever you have like other things.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and yeah, we'll definitely make sure to put this on our social media, and then of course on our video platforms like Twitch and YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks again for watching. Check out our other videos and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.